Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Ann McGill. Several local agencies ran an active shooter drill in Walterboro today, bringing deputies, police, firefighters, and USC Salkehatchie together to practice how a rural community responds when help may be miles away. Live 5's Maya Brown was able to get an up-close look at that drill for you.
Today, the sound of gunfire was simulated, but the fear was very real. I followed an active shooter drill in Walterboro to see how first responders and rural communities train with fewer people, longer response times, and limited resources. Because when seconds matter, help can sometimes be miles away. Sirens and shouted commands filled USC Salkehatchie's Walterboro campus as an active shooter drill unfolded. It's all part of a growing push to make sure rural communities are ready when seconds count. And it wasn't just about stopping the threat. Teams ran the full response, clearing rooms, treating victims, coordinating triage, and even calling in a helicopter to fly one patient to a nearby hospital.
We've been working closely with law enforcement in Colleton County and emergency operations staff to pull this together.
With fewer resources in a rural community, the drill is designed to sharpen response, evaluate what worked, and pinpoint what needs to improve before a real emergency happens.
Is designed to identify improvements, and we did identify a number of improvements, small things, communication modes that could be different and make an improvement. So we did identify a number of things that we can make improvements upon.
The effort ended within an hour. Once the simulated shot was called in, first responders were dispatched just minutes after, and dozens of officers soon flooded the building and neutralized the suspect within 5 minutes of arriving. What officials say showed a successful, coordinated effort.
The limited resources that we do have available, it's important to make sure that we fully understand where we're lacking and what it is that we can do as a university to make sure that we're prepared, that our facilities are prepared, as well as all of our faculty, staff, and students.
Officers left participants with a simple, urgent message: run, hide, fight. Because in those first moments, it can mean the difference between life and death. For Live 5 News, Maya Brown.